Hello everyone, and welcome to another video, Fragrance Fireside Chat. I'm your host, Cody. Let's get started. It's almost that time now. I finished signing the lease of my new studio apartment in Midtown, so I'm getting ready to move, actually. I'm going to be moving in precisely a week and a half, and once that's done, then I'll be in my new place. Obviously, everyone will see my new setup just because I kind of have it in my head how I'm going to actually position everything, but we'll see what happens with the whole kind of setup thing. My scent of the day today was L'Odyssée by Simiake. A solid one that I've actually been wearing a little bit more than I thought I would be. I tend to like it actually going to play basketball, and that's actually what I just came back from doing. Slowly packing some stuff in the back. You can see some boxes on the side, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been kind of toning it back for, I guess you could say, the amount of fragrances. Sometimes I'll usually apply like 2 fragrances for the day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. The afternoon will usually come after I finish working out or going to the gym, so I'll usually double apply. But recently I've been just sticking with one pretty much throughout the entire day, so it's usually faded by the second time around. But the one thing I really did want to talk about in this video was the subject of Creed batch variations. Now, if you look at my videos, especially the ones that are on Creed fragrances, you'll notice that I never mention batch variations with it, like batch ZX01, whatever. There are a ton of batch variations that are with Creeds. For those of you who don't know what batch variations are, basically, the fragrance creator will, concoct all of the ingredients together and basically have a set number and create the fragrances from that batch. So say, for example, the creator will have enough for, let's say 500 bottles, right? And the creator will label it batch 5N01, right? This is actually not different than a lot of fragrance companies that are out there. So say, for example, even designers wise, they may not tell you that it's a different batch number, but there are batch numbers. Creed happens to be one company that actually tells you. So say, for example, again, you make enough for 500 bottles. Those 500 bottles are made, and then you may make, another quote-unquote batch of juice, basically, for another 500 bottles. Most companies don't tell you that there's another batch that goes on or other batches that go along with it. Creed is one that happens to do it, and there's a specific reason why they do it. They do it because with Creed especially, I'm not going to say that they're all natural because they're not, but they do mix in, they do have a very large amount of natural ingredients and exotic ingredients especially too. So what this means is, let's say for example, there's coconut in a particular fragrance. What happens is they'll have a batch of coconuts, and they may get another batch of coconuts, but the other batch of coconuts isn't the same ripeness as the first batch of coconuts that they got. In the second batch, that's another reason why the second batch that they have will be batch 2 or whatever. It's a different batch because it's a different batch of coconuts, and therefore it's producing a slightly different smell from it. So that, in a nutshell, is why they have, separate batches, or why they choose to label separate batches. Because, and a lot of times, while the ingredients, the main ingredients, are the same, they may not be able to, quote unquote, fully replicate what the experience is. Creed is one of those companies that happens to tell you. Now, in most cases, it's my opinion that it's negligible. The difference between batches is extremely negligible, to the point where I honestly don't care. I don't care which batch of Aventus they're getting. Now, I have smelled various different batches, and they've smelled far closer to me than anything else, basically. In other words, there's never a case that I've come across where I've smelled a Creed batch and been like, whoa, this is way different than this other batch. Hasn't happened. At least not with me. Simply hasn't happened. Some batches emphasize a little bit more smokiness, a little bit more pineapple-ness, whatever, but to me, the difference is negligible. I don't care, basically. Now, other people do care. I'm just one of those ones who don't, and therefore you don't see it in my review. So, now, I'm also of the fact that I don't blame fragrance creators for having differences in their batches or anything like that. I'm not the type of person to do that, just because I do know that it is a little bit more of an involved process than one might think, basically, for it. And in a lot of cases, because Creed goes after these supposed exotic ingredients, the ingredients might not be available for them. So that's just my thought on Creed and batch variations or anything like that. Let me know what your thoughts are. I know there are a lot of people who probably don't have the same thought of me as it, and they seek out certain batches for it. But either way, let me know what your thoughts are on it down below, and also let me know what your scent of the day is. All right. Thank you. Take care of yourselves. Have a great day.